What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm down at Maserati Lotus Greenville, and behind me is a 2018 Maserati Quattroporte SQ4 GranLusso. Huge shout out to them for providing this sedan for me today. I'll have all their information in the description below. This model is finished off in black and has a price tag right around $78,000. Under the hood is a 3-liter twin turbocharged V6 engine. This is only paired to the ZF 8-speed automatic with column mounted paddle shifters. This engine produces 424 horsepower at 5,700 RPM and 428 pound-feet of torque as low as 1,700 RPM. It is all-wheel drive, weighs around 4,200 pounds. 0 to 60 can happen in around 5 seconds with a top speed of 170 miles an hour. And with a fuel capacity of 21.1 gallons, you can expect to see 16 miles per gallon in the city and 23 on the highway. The wheelbase measures 124.8 inches. It has an overall length of 207.2. The width is 76.7 and it has a height of 58.3 inches. Starting up front with the large center grille, it features 10 vertical slots finished off in chrome, along with the Maserati Trident logo right in the center and a forward-facing camera just above that. You can see just how much airflow can be provided to the engine to help cool it down, and behind the grille there are active shutters that will open and close to help improve with the aerodynamics. This has LED headlights and LED daytime running lights. There's 6 forward-facing sensors running throughout the front bumper. Down below on each side are more air inlets to provide even more cooling, along with a nice chrome trim piece above them. The lower section of the bumper has some nice contours in it to give it more of an aggressive look, and as we make our way up to the hood, it features very clean lines running down it. Moving to the side, this features a set of 20-inch wheels with a 7-spoke design to them, wrapped in a Pirelli P0 all-season tire. This has 4-wheel disc brakes in all 4 corners. The rotors up front measure 14.2 inches and 13.8 inches in the rear. This has an adaptive suspension. There's more chrome trim around the windows. It's down on the door handles. It's also on the badges, so the GranLusso down behind the front tire, along with the Maserati Trident logo on the C-pillar. There's functional air inlets just behind the front tire as well, and the body-colored power folding side mirrors have the integrated turn signal and a camera underneath each one as part of the surround view camera. There's very clean lines running down the side of the vehicle, and as we make our way up to the roof, it does feature a sunroof. And finishing up in the rear with a small trunk lip spoiler, this has LED taillights, a backup camera with 4 parking sensors. It does have a power trunk, there's rear-facing fog lights, and down below is the quad-tip dual exhaust. So that's going to finish up with the exterior walk-around on the Quattroporte GranLusso. I actually just finished driving the Ghibli, so this is a very, very similar car to that. The only main difference is this is much larger. It has a longer wheelbase and a longer overall length. So we'll see, especially in the back seats, how much more room there is over the Ghibli. But other than that, they are virtually identical on the exterior. They have the same clean lines running down the side and then the aggressive grille in the front. That is my favorite part. It just has so much presence to it. But now with the key, we'll go ahead and check out the interior. Before we do that, as long as the vehicle is locked, we can double tap on the key fob and it has remote start, which is very cool to see. And then obviously if we just double tap that, it will shut off. And then as long as I have the key on me, if I just place my hand in the door handle, it will automatically unlock. The inside of this model has a really nice color combo to it. You can see there's red leather on the armrest along with white stitching, and then this other fabric running above it with some gray stitching. Just has a really nice two-tone design to it. There's piano black and chrome trim on the top section, along with on the release handle. You have your memory seat adjustments. This has a 10-speaker Bowers & Wilkins audio sound system. There's also a speaker down in the door. You have a little bit of storage space behind that, and then all of the windows are automatic up and down. You have all of your power mirror adjustments in front of that. Moving inside now, we'll take a look at the two-tone leather seats. Again, they're finished off in red. You have the Trident logo right in the center with more of the white stitching. Really aggressive bolster support to them and a nice pattern running down the middle. These are heated and ventilated seats. They also feature a 12-way power adjustability with lumbar support. Once inside, we're greeted with a fully wrapped black leather steering wheel. It has good hand positioning on each side. There's black stitching running along the inside, and then a piano black trim piece running on the outside. It has a really nice touch to it. You can see there's more chrome down in the middle section here. On the right side, you have your voice commands along with Bluetooth, and this dial here will control the center gauge setup, which I'll get to here soon. On the left side, you have your cruise and adaptive cruise control settings. This also has the column mounted paddle shifters again. They are finished off in aluminum and have a really nice size to them. With the electronics on, if we look at the gauge setup now, you have your speedometer on the left side, your tach on the right. In the middle, you have the fuel gauge along with the engine temperature, what gear you're in is down below. And then using the buttons on the right side of the steering wheel, we can look at some vital information like your distance, You have your battery voltage, oil temperature, engine temperature, things like that, along with your TPMS. We can look at your power output, so where the power is being sent to all four wheels. You have your adaptive cruise and lane sense, so you can turn that on and off, along with your range and average MPG. You have some other averages that you can take a look at, along with your start-stop feature. You have your radio, any messages that you need to see, and then in your vehicle setup, if we enter that, you'll see you can configure your screen setup, so what you'd like to see in each corner. Right now it shows the date and time in the top left, and your outside temperature on the top right. You can change the speed warning and the electronic parking brake. To the left of the steering wheel, we have all the headlight controls along with some more dimmer switches. There's a nice cubby here that's actually pretty deep, so you can store anything you need there. You can see there's more red leather surrounding that, giving it a really nice look. And then to the right side, we have the engine start stop button. So with my foot on the brake, we'll go ahead and start it up. Above those controls, there's one air vent with more of the piano black. You can see leather and stitching covering the entire dash. There's a clock in the center with an air vent on both sides. And now we'll take a look at the 8.4-inch screen. You have some presets on the bottom. Right now you can see it's on the controls. So that shows all of these safety features that this car has to offer. You have your lane keeping assist, active blind spot, forward collision, traffic sign assist. You can also lock and unlock the glove box, which is a unique feature to see. You have the rear sunshade, you can open and close that, along with the surround view camera. So you can see on the left side is the top-down view. We have the rear-facing camera on the left side. You have a wide-angle rear view that takes the top down. We can go to the wide-angle front camera, and then the front camera with the top down. And again, the lines do move with the steering wheel, which makes it very easy to place the car where you'd like it. You have media and radio you can go into. If you click on the Maserati logo, it just brings up some other settings like your vented and heated driver seats. You have the same thing for the passenger. We can pull up the navigation as well, so that way you can see it full screen. Going over to the second page, you have the rear sunshade again, along with turning the screen on and off. If you just click anywhere on it, that will bring it back up. Below that, you have all of the physical AC buttons. So you have the fan speed right in the center. You have some more research to the left and the right. And then the temperature you can control driver or passenger. And you will see a little screen readout in the top corners there. Very nice to see that. That way you don't have to go into the infotainment screen if you're not on the climate control pages. So if you do want to go into here, you can see you have the same temperature adjustments, where you'd like the air to go. And then you have the heated and ventilated seat controls right in the middle. And then the fan speed is just underneath that. Below that, you have a nice hidden cubby here. If we just push on that, it reveals a USB and some other outlets on the left side, and you actually have a little bit of a storage space on the right side. To the right side, if we open up this one, that reveals two cup holders along with a 12 volt there. And then looking at the shifter here, if we just pull the trigger on the front, we can pull it back into reverse. Again, you'll see the backup camera light up. And then if we pull on that trigger, we can go all the way back into drive. If you don't pull on that trigger, now we are in manual mode. So you can go plus, minus, and then pull on that trigger again. We'll go all the way up into park. To the left of the shifter is traction control. You can go into manual mode. There's an ice mode. Sport mode changes the exhaust. And then you do have a sport suspension mode. Behind that is the electronic parking brake, and you have a few dials to control the center screen. So there's a back button, a home button. You have two rotary dials. The one down below allows you to control between what you'd like to click on. The upper one changes the volume for the radio, and you do have a center button in the middle. In the center area here, there's more piano black covering everything. Has a really nice look to it. You have one compartment here that gives you a little bit of storage space. And then looking at the leather-wrapped center console, if we just push this button on the top, it will automatically open up. You can see two cup holders down there along with a 12 volt, and then you can easily close that up. Then moving over to the glove box, you'll see that there is a shelf in here, so you have storage on the top and the bottom. And again, you do have the glove box lockout, so that way no one can get into there. You can see it's finished off in more leather, and you have piano black above that. We'll take another look at the two-tone seats. They definitely have a really nice design to them. And then up top, you do have the sunroof again. All of those controls are up in the center. You have the power trunk along with the sunshade buttons and your dome lights. Now it's time to take a look at the rear seating, and you can lock and unlock the vehicle from the back seats, which is nice to see. The door panels finish off just like up front with the red leather and stitching, and you have more of that material above it. Just has a really nice design to it. Behind both front seats, you have some extra storage space for anything that you need to place there. There's 2 air vents in the center. These are heated rear seats, so you have 2 settings for each one. There's a little bit of a storage cubby underneath that. And then these buttons here will control the rear sunshade. So just by clicking on those, you can put it up or down, which is nice to see. And then talking about legroom now, I have the front seat set at my height 5'10", and you can see my legs are almost fully extended. I have a lot of room in front of my knees, and then I have 3 or 4 inches above my head. So as I mentioned earlier, this is very similar to the Ghibli, except for the fact that it has a longer wheelbase and a longer overall length. And you can really see the difference with the legroom in the back seat. So if you haven't seen my video on the Ghibli, that'll be down in the description below. And then looking at the center armrests now, you have 2 cup holders in the front side. You just push on this button to reveal those. And then lifting up on this, you have a little bit of storage space in the back with a 12 volt and a USB port. Here's the view out of the rear again. You have a little bit of a window there for improved visibility. These seats also have a 60-40 split to them, so if I just pull this tab on the passenger seat, and this will fold flat, and you can see how much room you have into the back trunk space there. And then also on the sides, there are more sunshades. You can see this one is closed right now. Just using the window control, if I pull up on that, you have an automatic sunshade that obviously will go up. And then just pushing on it again will retract it back down. It'll nicely hide away. And then with it down, you can use the window control as a regular switch. Now moving on to the trunk storage space, I can just double tap the button on the key fob or walk up to the vehicle, obviously. With this open, you have about 18 cubic feet of storage space, and then obviously with them folded down, you have plenty more space for anything that you need. On the right side, there's a net for anything that you need to place there, along with a 12 volt, so you definitely have a good amount of room. Even with the back seats up, you have plenty of rear passenger storage space, and you can put plenty of items even with 5 people in the vehicle. And then up top on the power trunk, we can either close it or close and lock it at the same time. Getting the Quattroporte GranLusso out on the road now, I really like the design between the red leather and this other material, especially on the seats. It gives it a really unique look. I was surprised when I opened the door and saw this, but I really like it. The longer I've been in here, it's a really nice color combo, and everything is really nice on the inside. Again, you have leather on the seats, it's on the steering wheel here, on the entire dash. You have great attention to detail on the back seats too. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it into manual mode. Just push the M down below. We'll put the sport exhaust on. And from second gear, just give it a little bit of gas here. Feels exactly just like the Ghibli. Sounds exactly the same too, with those nice crisp pops. This is definitely a quick car, exactly like the Ghibli. It has the same engine and pretty much everything is the same platform. So obviously everything is going to be the same, but it drives and handles really nice. It's what you would expect from a Maserati performance sedan like this. It doesn't have any suspension settings, so the adaptive suspension that it does have handles really well in bumps, taking turns. I know I'm not going fast right now, but taking some of these other turns at higher speeds, handles really well, feels very planted. Maseratis have a really, or make a really good driving vehicle. They handle well, they have good performance, they have very nice interiors. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little bit of gas again. Whew. And then coming around this turn, dropping a gear here. Man, it feels so planted and connected to the road. It's definitely a very fun car to drive. I could see this going out on some back twisty roads. You could bring 4 other people with you, pack a whole bunch of stuff, and just have a ball in this car. It's so versatile in my opinion. It's a good daily driver. And then if you want to have a little bit of fun with it, you can easily pop it into manual mode, make the exhaust a little bit louder, and you really have a fun driver engaging car. Talking about visibility now, it's exactly like the Ghibli, looking over your left and right shoulder. There's a little bit of a blind spot over your left shoulder, but you can actually look out of the back glass as well if you turn your head just a little bit farther, and then over your right shoulder. Not too much of a blind spot with the C-pillar back there, but it's very easy to see out of. And you do have the top-down 360 view, which makes it much easier to maneuver in tight situations. I kind of touched base on the comfort of this car when I talked about absorbing bumps like what I just went over there. But other than that, the driver's seat is in a very comfortable position. I like the layout with the steering wheel and the paddle shifters. Even though these are very large, they have a nice, easy access to them. I can easily reach right around the steering wheel there and grab them, and then putting on my turn signal there. There is no interference with the paddle shifter and the turn signal stalk. It's actually a little bit longer than the paddle shifter itself. This is your wiper blade stalk and your high beams as well, so you can easily reach that knob. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up with my walk around review and test drive in the Maserati Quattroporte GranLusso. Once again, huge thanks to Maserati Lotus Greenville for providing this vehicle for me today. I will have all their information in the description below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video.